I'll tell him. Shall we start with the event then?
Sure. All the best.
Ma'am, can I start?
Yes, sure.
Start a day with a clean heart, no worries, no fear, and a smile. A very good morning, everyone. I, Ablasha Chauhan, student teacher, Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida, feel privileged to welcome you all in this online principal talk series on the topic Bliss of Teaching. Before moving forward, I would like to request you all to devote few minutes for Om chanting, as it is the easiest way to get in touch with universal power. So close your eyes and seek blessing from Almighty. Over to you, Manoj sir. US Secretary of Education Amy Duncan once said, "There are no schools without good principal. It just don't exist. And where you have good principal, great teachers come. They stay, they work hard, and they grow." So now I would like to invite Dr. Tanya Gupta ma'am, Principal, Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida, to formally welcome Dr. Reeta Gupta ma'am, Principal, Army Public School, Meerut, Kent, Uttar Pradesh. Over to you, Principal ma'am.
Thank you, dear Abhilasha. It's wonderful seeing you on board hosting the very prestigious online principal talk series, which is an initiative of the Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida. I take the privilege and the honor on behalf of AI Greater Noida, which is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, New Delhi. I warmly welcome Dr. Mrs. Reeta Gupta, Principal, Army Public School, Meerut, Kent, for being so kind enough to accept our invite to talk to our student teachers of batch 2019-21, the newly inducted batch of B.Ed and B.Ed Special Education 2020-22, our alumni batches, my very worthy colleagues at AIE, as well as all the other participants who've joined us to witness this event this morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Reeta Gupta, for joining us. I welcome you on behalf of the senior functionaries of the Army Institute of Education. And as we spoke, the time when this program was, decided that we are going to have you on board, we feel that inviting distinguished principals of your stature gives our student teachers the opportunity to have experiential learning, as well as understand the nuances of teaching learning process, the complexities of the education system, and how we as teachers can make them very simple and concrete. And also the objective of organizing these principal talk series is to enable our student teachers to get the first-hand experience, the understanding, the knowledge, the attitudes, and the skills that are required of the budding teachers who will join the schools in the near future to shape the destiny of the nation. I welcome you, ma'am, and I congratulate you for selecting such a wonderful topic, which is very dear to me as a learner and as a colleague, the bliss of teaching. We've heard of bliss in many other terms and other aspects of life, but what is the bliss of teaching? I'm so happy that you've selected this topic, and I look forward that my team and myself and my student teachers are going to have great learning from you this very morning. Welcome on board, ma'am, and welcome to AIE. Over to you, Abhilasha.
Thank you, ma'am. You must take a longitudinal view of total experience to spot inconsistency, said by Aaron Pennington. So, for elaborating lifelong achievements of Dr. Reeta Gupta, ma'am, I would like to invite Mrs. Kriti Guleta, ma'am, Assistant Professor, AIE. Over to you, Kriti, ma'am.
Thank you, Abhilasha. A very good morning to Dr. Tanya Gupta, Principal AIE, Dr. Reeta Gupta, Principal, Army Public School, Meerut, faculty members, and all the student teachers. It's my privilege to read out profile. Dr. Reeta Gupta is an energetic, creative, action-oriented, and result-focused person with 30 years of experience, of which last 15 years she has been working as principal of APS Meerut. She has successfully motivated the staff towards greater achievement, ensured the standards of learning are upheld, and enhanced her leadership and teaching abilities while doing so. Dr. Gupta has picked up teaching with passion and started working in 1992 as a guest lecturer in DN College, Department of Zoology. Ma'am joined APS Meerut as PGT Bio in July 1995 and took up as designation of principal since July 2005. To mention few of ma'am's achievements, ma'am was awarded by Chief of Army Staff for maximum induction of students in NDA and TES Defense Services from Army Public School, Meerut Camp. In 2016, ma'am was felicitated with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award for her hard work and dedication in the realm of education by Avantika. She was also awarded with District Principal Award for Science Olympiad Foundation 2017 and 2018 consecutively. APS Meerut was felicitated by HRD Minister Mr. Prakash Javadekar for maximum number of participation in first online digital competition conducted for the entire country in 2019. And also establishment of resource center and sub-junior library for specially abled children. So these are just a few to mention, ma'am. I'm sure there must be many more. And we are again privileged to have you here with us, ma'am, on board, and with more insight to learn more from you, and so that you can guide our students better. We again welcome you, ma'am. Thank you, Abhilasha, and over to you.
Thank you, Kriti, ma'am. Teach to make difference, teach to transform. With this, now I would like to call our guest speaker, Dr. Reeta Gupta, ma'am, to enlighten us on the topic Bliss of Teaching. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Abhilasha. On the onset, I would like to thank ma'am to invite me on this series of Principal's Talk. I really want to thank Dr. Tanya Gupta for giving me this opportunity. In fact, when she spoke to me, I was about to leave for my vacations, and I requested ma'am. But somehow, looking at the importance of the series, I thought, let me cancel out my few leaves and be here for this talk. So I'm here today, and I'm really feeling proud to be. I also want to thank the conveners of the today's program and the entire series, Ms. Kriti Guleria, Mr. Umaid Anwar, and of course, Abhilasha for introducing me so well. Well, the topic for today's talk, which we have discussed and decided over, is Bliss of Teaching, which I will be taking over later. Before that, I would just like to thank AIE also, the Army Institute of Education, for doing such a wonderful job for the last so many years. Since their establishment in 2003, for almost 17 years, this college has been doing wonderful job. And being the sister concern from the same society, that is Army Welfare Education Society, I feel privileged that our society is doing so well for the students of Army wards. And the Army wards are not only being given the school education, but even the vocational and the other professional colleges which are being run by AWIS is giving the best of the opportunities to our the wards of the Army personnel. And I think this is unparalleled to any other help and services which we can give to the society. So I really thank once again AIE for giving me this opportunity to speak today through this platform and speak to the student teachers, the alumni, and the future teachers who are going to be there in the society. To start with, I would like to quote a quote from a famous American comedian, that is George Carlin, who said, "Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. To ensure that these stupid people don't rule the society, teachers are there." I think it is well understood from this quote itself how important it is to be having a good teacher or a set of teachers in the society. Because teachers have the power and focus in transforming able students into efficient citizens who can travel the path of transformation of society. So, if we really want elevation, evolution, and transformation of society, good teachers are definitely the first step to it. And that is well said and seen in the present COVID condition as well. When the entire country, not only the country, the entire world was under the stress and under the uh, strength and the strength was required from the entire society to hold this pandemic, it was very, very difficult. But even then, overnight, there was a transformation seen by the teachers. As COVID 19 crossed nation boundaries, the education sector navigated its way towards an alternated learning approach. Overnight, we have seen a change. The teachers, parents, and students took collective responsibility and evolved new methods. The teachers, especially, simplified curriculum based learning and learned 21st century technology, focusing on enhancing creativity and critical thinking. The role of parent also changed, and students also catapulted into better and more responsible versions of themselves. This teaching learning process came with its own set of challenges, which primarily included addressing the emotional and social concerns of our students, along with taking care of their mental health. APS Meerut takes pride in having addressed these needs of our teachers and students, and regular series and sessions were organized for our teachers and students for training themselves and taking the new normal as normal and making them better equipped to meet the challenges. And it was all possible because the set of teachers could take the challenge, because teachers had the power of transforming. So within no time, when the lockdown was announced on 22nd of March, 1st of April, we started off with the new session. And the very first day I could see, and we all could feel pan India, the teachers were all equipped. The zeal could be seen. I think that's the power of a teacher. And that is what I always bow in front of. So, keeping this thing in mind, I thought the topic for today must be bliss of teaching. The happiness what a teacher could always feel throughout their life being a teacher. Now, to start with, I would just share my slides now and start with my preview of my presentation. My today's presentation, okay, I'm sorry, I'll just take a minute. Yes. Is it available on the screen now? has gone. Yes, it is there now. I can see. My topic for today's talk is bliss of teaching. And before I go ahead with this topic, I would just like to say a few words that teaching is a profession which has given the best by the God. It not only gives you the power to be with the young generation, but be young throughout their life and experiment what best could be available for the society. In today's talk of mine, I'm going to complete my entire presentation under the following headings, that is, teachers as a lighthouse, maintaining self motivation, staying motivated as a teacher, balancing roles of teacher in life, embracing change, offline to online, flipping the classrooms, and what difference teachers do make. Out of this, before I begin with, I must quote, teacher's job is not a job to do as fast as we can. It's a job to do the best what we can. That is what we are teachers. It is not the speed which matters, it is the content and the pace and the quality which matters a lot for a teacher. As I said, the first, teachers as a lighthouse. I always have felt just as a lighthouse helps sailors, teachers lead their students in the right direction towards the pathway of success. As a teacher, it is important that we guide students through the learning process and allow them to go their own ways and do their own things as well. Children's path might be rough and tough, just like those of sailors, but the end result, whether it be learning new concepts or reaching land, is worth it. Students look us when they are struggling, and again, this is similar to the lighthouse job, when a sailor is on a quest of find land. So, my dear student teachers, it is very important that you always remain enlightened, you always remain alert, you always remain focused, and you always remain prepared to take all the challenges and extend help to the student, to the pupil throughout. And for that, you need to be focused, you need to be passionate, you need to be disciplined, and you need to be concerned. That emotional balance, that emotional touch is a must for a teacher to be a teacher. Maintaining self motivation is the first need to be a good teacher. If you are not self motivated, you may not be able to contribute as a teacher to the society in a true sense. The best motivation is self motivation, as has been said by Jim Rohn. Ask yourself the three questions. Can you do it? Will it work? Is it worth it? If your answer to each of these three questions is yes, that means you are likely self-motivated. If you believe you can do it, you have self-efficacy. That is, you believe in your innate abilities to achieve goals. If you believe it will work, you have response efficacy. That is, you believe that the action you are taking will lead to outcome you want. If you believe it is worth it, you can weigh the cost with the consequences and you are satisfied with it. Any school, college needs self-motivated teachers like a pen needs ink. The energy flows through corridors and classrooms, motivating the pupil and creating a can-do attitude. My dear teachers, students, it is very important to stay motivated throughout. As the quote was found written on a very eminent place, I would like to read it. Flying is a serious profession. Do not carry your worries beyond this point. The same goes for the teachers as well. Teaching is a very serious profession. Keep your egos and worries before the boundaries of the school, before the mindset for a teacher. You can totally do this and stay motivated if you start simple. That is, keep motivators around your work area. Here, you can look your lighthouse. The one who motivates you, believes in you, who always gives you an initial spark to get going. Always look for that person because that person is a loud house for you. The next comes keep good company. Make regular encounters with positive and motivated people. They will help you grow even during tough times and also help you to self analyze yourself and keep your negativity away and keep yourself motivated and pessimistic. Track your progress. Always keep a tally of ongoing projects. When you see something positive growing, you will always want to nurture it. You practice it more. You focus on it more. You experiment for it more. So it's necessary to track your progress to maintain self motivation. The next, help others. Helping others actually help yourself. It's because when you help someone, they will be more likely to help you. And secondly, when you do good, good will come. When you see others doing well, you will get motivated to do the same. At the same time, your good deeds, when give you good fruits, you try and intend to practice more. And people looking at you will start following you, will start looking at you, will start observing you. And this motivated, positive environment will definitely translate to others as well and make the aura positive, pessimistic, positive and encouraging. The the next important factor which keeps the teaching as a bliss is balancing role in life. It's no wonder that almost 8% of teachers leave the profession every year. I request you to complete the following sentence, my dear student teachers. If If I had not become a teacher, the alternate best career option for me would have been. You can write whatever you feel like writing for yourself and analyze it. Teaching is a specialized skill and not everyone can teach. To be a successful teacher, many add-on attributes are required like empathy, communication skills, engagement ability, serving attitude, kindness, desire to positively impact others' life, etc. On the other hand, it is important to balance the demand of teaching but still maintain a personal life, hobbies, interest, relationships, and family. Because if there is no balance, you will not be able to just your role as a teacher and will not be able to satisfy yourself and keep yourself motivated as an individual and as a part of the society. Here is how we can achieve work life balance. Now, to keep that balance in life, one has to ensure and take certain positive and concrete steps. To start with, make an organized list. Make a list of all for just that day and try to complete everything on it because every day one step which you take can lead you to a long distance being covered by you. Cross out whatever gets done so you can see progress and feel a sense of accomplishment. Next comes leave work at work. That is, work really needs to stay at work and after coming home, focus on yourself, your family, friends, your hobbies, etc. because that is going to rejuvenate you to take your task more holistically, which is going to next come to you. But now you are probably thinking, that's impossible. How will you all work get done? Now, this lead me to another point, that is, prioritize your task. Depending on what and who you teach, you must prioritize. Decide what must get done in your workload immediately and put aside what can wait and prioritize them accordingly. Next comes teach for the right reasons. Remember that you are teaching for your students. You are there for them, only them. Be real with your students. Come down to their standard. Visualize their needs. Visualize their problems. Visualize their mode of learning and acquaint yourself to deal with it, which is your job. The next comes focus on what you can control. Everything cannot be controlled by a human being. So you need to analyze and focus. There are various things which you cannot control, like you cannot control natural things, rain, earthquake, or behavior of other people, etc. So you need to have balance between what you can control and what you cannot control. If you focus on things you cannot control, you will have frustration, stress, loss of energy, and loss of motivation. That is why it is very important for you to focus on what you can control. The behavioral change of a student is in your control. What you have to teach to your students is in your control. How you can impress upon the students to take the right path is in your control. How you deliver the curriculum is in your control. How you approach your students and make them better learners is in your control. There is so much which you can and help and controlling and framing into the right form. So there is so much you need to focus upon and remain positive to take up your job more authentically and in a right fashion. So you can always ask yourself 3 questions, my dear student teachers. What is worrying me? What is within my control? What can I do about it? It will help you ignore unnecessarily the stressful conditions. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Create it in order to live a healthier and a happy life. So, my dear teachers, think what you can control. That is your attitude, your efforts, your behavior, your action. And to be a great member of the team, you need to work upon. You cannot control, which is outside your control, that is the opinions people make, the mistakes other peoples are making, the adversities of the environment, the feelings others have, the actions of other people. But this should not make you worry. So a balance to be created is in your hand, which you need to learn how to do. And again, I will reiterate, it is not a simple job. To be a teacher is a God's work. So please take care of yourself and learn to balance. Embracing changes is one important aspect to be a good teacher. As I started with, just overnight, there was a change and there was a need for changing the entire platform of teaching. Overnight, we have changed from offline teaching to online teaching. Had teachers not been confident enough, had society not shown the confidence in the community of teachers, I don't think the society would have been able to take on the lockdown duration. That gives us the strength and feeling that yes, the teachers are the most blessed individuals of the God, and we must carry on with our work. To start with, I would like to share one beautiful video with you, which has been made by the students only of one eminent university and have depicted very truly the present situation, that how well a teacher only can make and embrace the frequent changes and still bring normalcy to the entire society. Here is a video I would like all of you to watch very carefully. So let's enjoy it.
Hello, good morning, students. How are you? How are all of you? How's the lockdown? How's home? Can you all hear me? Am I audible? Are you all there? Because of the lockdown, we'll be having online classes, and the first class we'll be doing Fourier transforms. All right, class. That's it for today. We'll continue tomorrow. I've taken the attendance. Thank you.
A senior government official in Uttar Pradesh's Balia district has been suspended after he and
So this is how we get Fourier transform. Just substitute
Ma'am, your voice is breaking, ma'am. Ma'am, your student is not visible.
Give me a second.
Ma'am, I can't see anything.
Can you see now? Hello.
Ma'am, I think someone muted you, ma'am.
Hello.
Who's that? Who's that? Please switch off the music right now. Who is that? I will not tolerate this nuisance. Please switch off the music.
I hope you all understood whatever has been done till now. We're done for the day. We'll continue the rest tomorrow. Thank you.
Any other question?
policeman in Uttar Pradesh's Kannauj has been suspended and a probe has been initiated against him after he was seen in a video assaulting a differently abled man. The video of the incident, widely shared on social media, shows the police constable slapping the differently abled man at the back of his head and pushing him to the ground in a police station about 120 kilometers from Lucknow.
जानकारी की गई है घटना के बाद
example clear to all of you? One of you please unmute yourself and tell me if it's clear or not.
No, ma'am, your screen is hazy. We cannot see clearly.
Give me one.
She's right. We've already compromised enough. Can we see some genuine efforts from your side too now?
audio on.
Excuse me, who was that? Please behave yourself. Who was that? Please try and understand, students. I'm trying my best.
Ma'am, that doesn't matter. We are not paying so much money to look at a blurry screen.
Ma'am, classes have been going on for 3 days like this, but still we're having the same problems. We can't learn like this anymore, ma'am. It's just not helping.
Please cooperate. This is new for all of us also.
I don't know, ma'am. I just feel it's so shameful that you're teaching us engineering, but you don't even know how to use technology properly.
I'm getting a call from the HOD. I'm leaving the meeting. We'll continue to.
Distance views demands for tech-savvy teachers. Old gen teachers threatened by job loss. Unaccustomed to latest technology, orthodox teachers find their jobs in jeopardy. Polls suggest the job losses have only just begun.
F of x is equal to a plus 2l. Now f of x plus 2l is equal to f of x. Now f of x is the periodic function of 2l. Okay?
I think it is so very clear. As one of the teacher has, Garima Joshi has asked me a question. How can we deal with the parents who always pinpoint mistakes, complaints rather than supporting and work along with the teacher for children's betterment? I think this video, which has been inspired from a true story of one of the engineering colleges, I think itself clears it. As I said right in the beginning, teacher's job is not a simple job because we are dealing with the young minds which are of the new generation. And every time when we see the young generation coming, they have new ideas, new needs, new requirements, new expectation. So a teacher is one who has to keep experimenting. They cannot leave hope. They are the one who have to walk with the time. And that is why self-analysis, experimenting with the new methods and methodologies, and taking cognizance of the changes in the society is very, very important for a teacher to keep themselves with the time, moving with the time, and overcoming. As far as the mistakes and complaints are concerned, please take these complaints and mistakes as a positive feedbacks. The day you decide that these complaints and feedbacks are taken as a positive feedback, you will find you will yourself start looking for the solutions for it. And you will definitely find a solution because there is no problem which does not have a solution. Every problem has a solution. The only thing is you need to keep thinking, analyzing, and finalizing the correct way of solving the problem and meeting the needs. That's why I feel, and it has always been said since the ancient time, teaching is the most noble profession. Teachers can build nations, and ruined education system can destroy nations. That's the power of a teacher. That's the power of education system. So never feel disturbed with the small complaints, because that comes through in every profession, in every walk of life. So you should not take it as a negative feedback. You should take it as a positive feedback. The change, some fear it, some embrace it, and others just roll with it. You need to decide what you want. You want to have fear, you want to embrace it, or you just want to roll with it. If you fear, it will give you more fear. If you embrace, you will find new ways to combat and go ahead. And if you just roll with, you will be lost somewhere. So, what you have to decide is what you want as a teacher. If you really want to be a good teacher, I'm sure you will find ways to go overcome it. And as we know, the world has changed in the blink of an eye. School, colleges closed overnight, and in the stress of lockdown, no one paid attention to the sudden stress on teachers, as is well seen in the video as well. We all have been searching phrases like how to teach online, best online teaching platforms, managing classrooms online, etc. We all had to learn to embrace the medium in order to be a better teacher. In a physical classroom, it's easy enough to rearrange desks and chairs the way you want. We had different ways and kinds of activities which are difficult to pull on offline classes, because students and teachers are confined to their seats in front of their computer screens. Whereas in online classes, it is just not possible. And despite all limitations and setbacks, teachers have established a new normal, and now this new partnership between technology and education is going to stay. It's not going to end. Don't feel that COVID is going to end and the online teaching will also end. It will not. In fact, it has given a new platform and a next step of learning for the teaching faculty as well. I would like to share another video with you all, a very interesting, as how the eminent, experienced teachers have also gone through the same fear but have overcome, because they had that passion to teach, they had that commitment to work, they had that ideology that I need to experiment and come out of the fear. So let me share another video with you all.
2 दिन से असाइनमेंट दे रखी है तुम्हें और तुम लोगों ने वो पूरी नहीं की. What is this? Now you just wait and watch. I'll speak with your parents. And now please get ready. वो जो चैप्टर है उसके नोट्स मैं अभी शेयर करने वाली हूँ तुम्हारे साथ. अरे ये क्या हुआ? एक तो ये मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है. कल रात ही को तो ट्राई किया था कि कैसे शेयर करना है.
मैम अपना नोट्स कैमरा में ऐसे करके दिखा दो.
हंस लो तुम लोगों को आता है ना ये सब. And just because I do not know this, you laugh at me. हाँ? तुम्हें पता है जब मैंने सबसे पहले कंप्यूटर को चलाना सीखा तो जब इसकी स्क्रीन ब्लैक हो जाती थी ना तो मैं समझती थी कि ये कंप्यूटर खराब हो गया. ये तो बाद में पता चला स्लीप मोड पे चला गया.
मैम कैन वी टेक अ लंच ब्रेक नाउ? आपको लंच नहीं करना?
व्हाट? लंच? नो, अभी ये चैप्टर बहुत बाकी पड़ा है. और मैं अगले हफ्ते टेस्ट भी लेने वाली हूँ. ये कौन आ गया?
Can we please have lunch, ma'am?
No, don't go anywhere. Stay here. I'm coming.
गुड आफ्टरनून मैम. आपके लिए डिलीवरी है.
पर मैंने तो कुछ मंगवाया नहीं है. आप शायद किसी गलत घर पे आ गए.
मैम B37 यही है.
हाँ, एड्रेस तो ठीक है.
फिर आपके लिए किसी ने भेजा है मैम.
ओके
ओके मैम, थैंक यू.
मैम व्हाट हैपेंड?
अजीब बात है, मेरे लिए किसी ने कुछ भिजवाया. हाँ, हमने कभी कहा नहीं पर थैंक यू मैम। रोज कभी लैपटॉप से उलझते हुए, कभी हमारी शरारतों से जूझते हुए, या इस न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी को समझते हुए आप कभी नहीं थकी। थैंक यू मैम। थैंक यू। ये आप सब ने भेजा।
यस मैम। मैम, आपका आज का लंच हमारी तरफ से ट्रीट है।
तुम्हें ये सब किसने सिखाया? इतनी अच्छी बातें कर लेते हो।
मैम, आपसे ही सीखा है।
मुझसे?
थैंक यू मैम।
तो फिर चलो, आज हम सब मिलकर लंच करते हैं। ओके? तुम भी अपना अपना लंच ले आओ। शुरू करें?
चौक डस्टर का साथ छोड़, टेक्नोलॉजी से ये रोज दो हाथ किया करते हैं। ऐसे ही लोग इन्हें सिर्फ टीचर्स नहीं बल्कि वॉरियर्स कहा करते हैं।
My dear teachers, students, I think it is so very, very clear what I want to convey through this video. Teacher has the power to conquer the technology as well, even within a short period of time. It is a teacher who has to amalgamate the various forms as how they can deliver the best to the children. Teachers has the power to change over the way it is to be delivered to the students. And it is well said by one of the participant, teaching can survive without technology, but technology will never survive without teaching and pedagogic and education. So it is self-explanatory. Technology is just an aid which is being used by the new set of teachers. Reason being, this is an X generation which is called to be an technology savvy generation. So if you want to move ahead with the generation of technology, as a teacher, one has to master technology as well. As it is well said, if you want, let children to listen to you. If you want, let parents and teacher trust you. If you want, let your way go through smoothly and people believe in you. It is very important you walk with the time and the latest technology which is available. Relearning is very important for a teacher. A teacher cannot sit with the old methods. A teacher cannot sit with the old syllabus, what they have prepared through their learning in the school and the college time. They have to keep updating themselves. A constant learning is a must for a teacher to become a good teacher. Sadhana Yadavji asked me, teaching indeed is a bliss, but there are times when we feel it is just any other job and end up losing the same level of energy in teaching. How to cope with this kind of situation? As I said, you have to walk with the time. You have to self-analyze, and introspection is the best way. And of course, the institutions also keep organizing the teachers training program which help in overcoming the loss of sheen and experimenting with new methods of teaching and keeping the knowledge help teachers to keep the energy high. And at the same time, you have to experiment what all new is available. Never compromise what you already know. Try to find out what new is available, and you have to walk few steps ahead of your children. And in the world of Google, where everything is available just at the click of a button, you cannot sit with your knowledge and your experimenting way. You have to keep experimenting and you have to keep yourself updated every day. You have to give a democratic way of learning in the classroom where you let the children share with you, and you as a mentor, and as a moderator. I repeat, as a mentor and as a moderator, take on the classroom teaching, where teaching is not one-way process by a teacher, but it's a two-way process where students are also being given freedom to speak. And you need to learn how to moderate and monitor that, which will help you to keep your teaching as a profession as everlasting joy for you. There is another question which Garima Joshi has asked: what can we do when most of the society ideology is that teaching is the last resort for female, as there is nothing much stress and hard work in teaching job? I think somewhere we teachers are only responsible for giving this reflection. What comes in the society is a reflection of what the thought process is going on. To our children, to our in the families, you must have seen the best way or the best job for a female is to go and teach in the school, because their primary job is to look after family. They go with the children and they come back with the children. They don't realize. So somewhere society itself is responsible for giving this kind of a reflection, and I think we have to break that image. And as teachers, we only have to let our family know this, that we are teachers and we have very important role to play. And it is not a job only while we are in the school. It is a job even when we are not in the school. As you have seen in these of online classes also, the students were giving their problems all 24 hours. Anytime the students would message the problems to the students, and the teachers were available to these students. So I think, and the teachers have opened doors of their homes also for these online classes. It is very, very difficult task. Tell me which job profile has given this kind of an open invitation to all the parents and students to watch into their houses. No other profession has given that, but teachers have, to see the courage. And I think the myth which is there in the society that females' best job is to take up as a teaching job, I think we are the only one who are responsible for giving this reflection, and we are the one who has to take a step to break this reflection as well. And I think we as teachers have to make people understand and ensure that teaching job is not a job which can be taken up by anybody. The flipping the classroom is another important aspect which will further enforce people and let people understand how important business is teaching. Now, flipping the classroom will give you another platform to make your teaching learning more interesting for you and your people. How? A pedagogical model in which the typical lectures and homework element of courses are reversed. That is flipped classroom. Short videos, lectures are viewed by students at home before the class session, while in the class time is devoted to exercise, projects, and discussion. A discussion which is a very important factor in analyzing and identifying what is the level of learning which has taken place. Because learning for today's children is not through what a teacher is teaching. Learning is through what they're observing around, what technology or the platforms, various platforms are providing to the students. So what form of knowledge is being formed in the mind of students, that you will get to know only when there are discussions. So a new way of teaching is the flipped teaching or the flipped classrooms, where teachers have to prepare the content by preparing the videos, share it with the students, and when they come back to the classroom, there is more of discussion and finalizing and analyzing. This analysis is to be done by the teachers as what form of knowledge is being formed in the mind of children, and if it needs correction, what correction. So diagnostic method is also to be used by the teachers, and which is going to help in formalizing the correct knowledge formation in the minds of students. The four important pillars of this flip education or the flip classrooms: number one, it gives a flexible environment. Teachers need to create flexible learning environment by providing opportunity for students to choose when and where they want to learn. There is no restriction to the students. Today is the third period where a child has to learn history. In the seventh period, child has to go through mathematics. There is no such restriction. Whenever a child feels within the, of course, the stipulated time of 24 hours before actual class discussion has to take place, in that duration, when a student can open up, see the videos, and take help of other resources as well to learn. The next pillar of flipped classroom is learning culture. The flipped classroom changes the traditional learning culture into learner-centered class. As a result, students are actively involved in knowledge construction, as I said in the previous part also. In the third important pillar is intentional content. Teachers determine what they need to teach and what materials should handle on their own. The next important pillar is professional educator. The flipped model needs instructors, that is, the teachers, who can observe, provide timely feedback, continuously assess work, and help students master content. I will share one more thing with you. One of the student teacher has asked me a question: what is to be done when there is so much of stress of completing the curriculum, completing the syllabus within the given time? The new pedagogy, for example, the flipped classroom, has given us a way to deal with this stress as well. Completing syllabus in time is possible if you prioritize, if you plan, and make use of different methods of teaching. In your B.Ed curriculum also, you must be going through the different way of teaching. Blackboard or the lecture method is just one out of those other available with the teachers to make use of. And believe me, teachers, if you start using and incorporate different way of teaching, for example, project-based learning, discussion, flipped classrooms, self-learning, peer learning, where students are being given small topics to discuss in the class and present, and you act as a moderator. When you give the projects to the students for the self-learning, all this, when being taken together, certainly help in not only dealing with the curriculum within the time frame given, but also help in a better learning of the student. And the model and the model ways have definitely improved this way of teaching as well. The next, I would like to focus on what are the advantages of this flipped classroom, which of course, apart from completing the curriculum in time, also helps students take ownership for learning. It also helps in promoting student-centered learning. Lessons and content are more accessible because students can access the content time and again as per the need. If they have doubts, they can always go on with the videos available made by the teachers again and again. So repetitive learning is also possible if there are any loops or the gaps in learning. It emphasizes on cooperative learning because it also enhances peer learning. When the discussion is taking place, different students who have learned different content in different way, when they discuss the content, it also gives a different outlook to the topics which are being taken care of by a teacher. So a cooperative learning also takes place. It gives more time to explore the content because it is repetitive in nature for an individual student. One student may have learned in one go. One student needs twice or thrice to go through the video. Maybe more discussion is required. So when more time is given to explore the content, the learning is better, long lasting, and the doubts are being taken care well in time, and completion of syllabus and curriculum in time is also taken care of. And it can be more efficient. When I say it is more efficient, it is all because of what we have discussed so far. Now I would like to come on to the next part. What difference do teachers make? Somebody said society does not give much importance. I would like to narrate one story and share this story with you, which will make it very clear how important a teacher is to a student and what difference can they make in the society. Once upon a time, a person was walking on beach and he saw another person at a distance, picking up something and throwing it back to the ocean. Curiously, this person started walking towards the other person to see as what he was throwing back to the ocean. This person also observed that the ocean waves were bringing starfish in hundreds in number to the shore, and they all were left behind on the shore to die. By the time this person reached the person who was throwing back few things in the ocean, he realized that he was picking up starfish actually, which were left by the waves on the shore, and throwing them back to the water. This person asked that person who was throwing back the starfishes as why he was wasting his time, as throwing of a fish back would not make any difference since there were so many, hundreds of them. The person who was throwing these starfishes back into the ocean passionately said, he actually didn't said anything. He started looking at him and he threw another fish back, which just been left by the waves. And then he said, it made a difference to this one. You may not bring in change to the entire society in one go, but if you make a difference in the life of one individual, will definitely contribute to the society. And that one life is important to you. That's the difference, and that's the power of a teacher. I would like you all, dear student teachers, to have a look at this one video before I take up your questions. Thank you so much, my dear student teachers, for having a look at the last video. And I think it has answered questions of many of you who have just given me these questions. There always will be, come back to the screen. There always will be, there always will be a time when you will have a tussle between the management, the family, the students, the teachers. The best way to overcome is to keep believing yourself, I can do it. And that's the best energy which you can prevail. Why I'm telling you this? Because ultimately you have to take a decision. You have chosen. You have chosen the job of a profession or a profession of teaching. And as I said, it's not a job and it's not a path which is very simple to follow. So you have to prioritize your things, which is important. You have to create a balance between the personal life and the professional life. When you prioritize and when you uh, distinguish between what is a personal needs and what are the professional needs, you will learn to balance between the two. You need to follow different methods of teaching, which will not only lessen the burden of completing the syllabus, meeting the requirements of the students, but also gives a platform to the students to make use of different way of learning. Because a set of 40 students which you have in your classroom all do not learn by same way. So you have to experiment and you have to provide different ways of teaching learning process. That will keep your way of teaching always very energetic, which will reduce the problems and reduce the question marks from the parents and from the students, which will give you a satisfaction and which will help you not only to self analyze your way of teaching, but also help you to analyze way of learning by the students. We find number of students, they learn by discussion. There are some students who learn when a lecture method is there. Some students learn through peer method. Some children learn through experiments. Some people learn when they do, then they experiment. Some people learn when there is a discussion. So when the different ways and methods of teaching are being used in the classroom, you will always find the learning is happening. The teaching learning process is happening, and that will give you a lot of satisfaction. It will give you a lot of encouragement. It will give you strength and it will keep you going. And once that is happening, there will be no cribbing from your side, from the students and from the parents. And the faith will be there in the mind of children and in the mind of parents that we have entrusted our children to the right person. And the teacher is there to show the right path. So I think the problem will automatically be solved if we start believing ourselves and following what I have just discussed. One more thing which is very important, as I said also, please never be self-contented. I know everything. I am aware of everything. I don't want to relook into my own teaching methods and my way of working. The day you start thinking this way, a teacher in you dies its own death. So please do not ever feel. Keep experimenting. That's very important. Keep yourself updated with the changes which are coming in. With the change, if you change yourself, you will be able to overcome. Females are more and more coming in the teaching profession. As I said, society is, and to ensure, when I say society, every family, when you talk to your parents, when you talk to your children as a teacher, what your parents speak to you. Teaching is the best profession for teachers. Why? Because they feel they just go with the children and come back with the children. There is nothing else to be done. So as teacher, you have to portray what a teacher is supposed to be doing apart from spending time in school. At the same time, you yourself start having pride in being a teacher. When somebody say, oh, she's just a teacher, you need to stand and speak. I'm just not a teacher. I am a person who has a power of transformation, who has a power to make a society live, one who has a power to make the nation. We as teachers can build a nation by giving as the quote is very commonly used, especially on the Teacher's Day. A teacher is one profession, teaching is one profession which gives life to all the professions, be it architects, engineers, doctors, professors, musicians, whatever you name a profession, and that is being built by teachers. So I think one should have a pride in that. It is not a small change. The change will take time, but definitely the change will come in if you start making people realize how important a teacher's profession is, and it is being reflected in your teaching as well. And that is all from my side. I'm open to more questions if there are any. You can let me know. I have tried to answer most of the question. That is all from my side. If there's any other question, I'm open to it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for very informative and insightful session. Now we have some questions. First question is from Neha Kumari, senior batch. Students nowadays in online classes are more concerned toward completion of their attendance. How can a teacher make them understand it is not about their understand that it is not the attendance, but
exactly.
their
Very
learning
good
that
question.
matters?
See, attendance is never important. Is never important. So how you ensure that attendance is not important? You have to start giving the assignment to the students in between. Say a session is for 1 hour. After 15 minutes, start calling out by name your pupil and put questions to them. That's very, very important. Don't ask them very specific question. Ask relevant questions of what knowledge has been built. That is the previous classes. Never rebuke a student in a class and give them another opportunity to answer. When this positive attitude is being shown by a teacher, then you will find more and more students coming up to your classes, not only to take attendance, but also to learn. Moreover, try to give assessment and assignments to the students on regular basis. The assignments should not be of very lengthy nature. They should be short, crisp, and of the kind which the students can just do and submit. And once the children have submitted the assignments, it must be corrected in time by the teacher, and responses must be given by the teacher. I've seen what happens. The students have given the reply or have deposited the assignments, but they're not being corrected by the teachers. As a result, student loses interest. When the student loses interest, they do not want to attend the class as such. They just get the attendance marked. So, assessment of a student while the class is on is one aspect. Second, assignment submitted by student must be corrected in time. Second aspect. Third, the assignment should be given regularly and short assignments so that students don't feel burdened. Then you will see the attendance is also regular and response of the student is also regular. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, another question is, these days students are not getting same level of teaching learning experience due to physical distance. How can we make our teaching more effective such that the students are able to learn in such a way that they would have learned while having a regular classes?
I think it is summing up of what I have said when I was talking about the flipped classroom. You know, this flipped classroom was a dream, say around a year back. And Avis was talking so much about the flipped classrooms pan-India. It has become a reality now. You know, as a B.Ed student, you must have come across the methods of teaching. In the methods of teaching, when they teach lecture method is the one ancient way where only one way of teaching is going on. The another method is project-based learning, which is a long-term learning. A topic or a problem is given to a child. A child has to find out the answers and content as how we can explain the question given. The third comes the peer learning. A topic is given and there is an open discussion given. Now, all these forms of teaching learning process can be utilized while we are having online classes. Then comes the assignments being given to the student, which should be open-ended questions. These open-ended questions, once given to the student, again, cannot be copied from one another, and every student has to answer the questions. For example, elaborate your thoughts or give the sketch of the individual, or find out another way of answering this particular methods of dash dash dash. So as a teacher, you have to frame assignment which are student specific, which encounters needs of different students at the same time, and at the same time gives different platform to the students. Once you start doing this from your end and you start assessing students with different platforms and different methods, that is tools of assessing, you will find all students are taken care of, even on online classes. As it is well said, every child, a fish cannot be tested by climbing on a tree as how well she is, as she has learned to climb a tree, because that is not her way. This is not her way of learning. So for every student, even on online, we can design different way of learning. But as a teacher, you have to find out these ways. 4 I have already given, more you can find out depending on the conversation and discussion you have with your children. I think I have answered the question. If there's still query, you can ask me.
Ma'am, there is another question.
Yes.
From Ravina. Teaching is considered as a job suitable to only women. How we can lessen this perspective?
Yes, I think I had answered this question with one of the another student who has asked me this question. Absolutely correct, Ravina ji. Okay, tell me, out of this 6, which I can see on the screen, there are 5 women and 1 male. Why? Somewhere as a society, we only accept that women are hardworking and they can deal well with children. They are compassionate, they are passionate, they can deal with the children very well. Why we are discriminating as teachers that women can be a good teacher and a men cannot be a good teacher? I think that has fed so deeply in the society itself that we ourselves are not accepting as parents that a male can be a good teacher. I think this discrimination has to go from our mind and from the minds in society. We have to show faith as principals. I think as the head of the institutions, we also have to give that faith, and men also have to have that faith that we can also be a good teacher. And I think it's a complete circle where everybody has to contribute, starting from our homes, where parents says that you cannot be a good teacher if you are a boy. A girl can be a good teacher. It starts from that point. Then it comes when a parent come to school. If it's a female teacher, my child is safe. If it's a male teacher, my child may not be safe. So this thought process has to change. I think only then this will come, and somebody has to start with it. So let we start with this discrimination. We stop this discrimination, and I think the change will soon come in the society. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of Army Institute of Education, I give a heartfelt vote of thanks to our Honorable Speaker, Dr. Reeta Gupta, Principal, APS Meerut Can, who spent her busiest time gracing this online Principal Talk series. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Obid Anwar, Assistant Professor in Special Education, AI, for vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Can I have one point before I ask Mr. Obid? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I really want to thank you to give me this platform. Tanya ji, I'm really thankful to AIE for giving me this opportunity, though I already said in the beginning itself. But I felt I could open up with so many things which otherwise I would have not been able to come across with the children, especially who are the future teachers. And I'm really thankful, a good work which is being done by AIE. This series will not only help students, but also help principals to experiment as how well their views can be passed on. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Over to Mr. Obid Anwarji.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Please unmute yourself.
Yes. Obedalwar ma'am, Assistant Professor in Special Education on behalf of the AIE Greater Noida, especially here to present the words of thanks. Ma'am, Dr. Reeta Gupta ma'am, really whatever the knowledge you gave us today, it's really, really very interesting. And all the points you have mentioned with the help of beautiful presentation and video clips, ma'am, really it gave us insight and extra excitement towards this noble profession. Ma'am, very honestly, you explain all those essential points which make a teacher in real lighthouse. What a teacher, how a teacher be a lighthouse. Really, you explain very well, honestly, and you enlightened us. Ma'am, especially once again, I would like to thank you for taking out your precious time for us. Especially, you canceled your official vacation and spare your time for us. That thank you so much, ma'am. And I would also like to thank my respected principal, ma'am, Dr. Tanya Gupta, ma'am, the AI team, the whole management team, and registrar sir, and all the technical staffs. And also thank you, Abhilasha, for very smartly hosting this program, and all the present student teachers present here who are paying their attention and learning. Thank you everyone. Ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Once again, thank you, ma'am, for sharing your words of wisdom with us. It was a fruitful session and we learned a lot. It will definitely help us in our personal as well as professional life. A great vision is like a national anthem. It has power to pull together, emotionally connect, and inspire great things. With this, I request you all to stand up for national anthem. Over to you, Manoj, sir.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world by Malala Yousafzai. Thank you everyone for joining and being part of this great session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.